Hey guys, Chuck with ChuckGuide.com. How would you like to have an endless supply of people to talk to build your network marketing business? Now, from experience, most people that I saw when they first get involved in network marketing, they put together a handful of people to talk to. They think they're going to just tear it up with, and they reject their business, and they go, "Well, this thing is a scam. This isn't working," and so they quit. And they quit prematurely. They may have had one of the greatest opportunities in front of them, but because they just didn't have enough people to talk to, their business floundered. Well, stick with me for the next few minutes because what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you 5 steps that you can follow to build that endless list. And also, I'm going to give you 4 steps to follow that will help you to go out and meet people without anxiety, without feeling stressed that you're somehow some kind of a stalker and people are going to not like you because you're approaching them. So if you haven't done this yet, click the little red subscribe button and also the little bell. It'll give, what it'll do is it'll give you an alert each time I post a new lead generation training video. Oh, and also give me a thumbs up if you got value from this video. Okay, so let's get started. Okay, so step 1 is to go and get yourself a notebook. Go to a local bookstore. They sell journal books. They're a hard-covered book, and you want to write down in this book everybody that you know. And don't stop until you got at least 100 names. And I know that's going to be tough because I went through it myself, but just keep writing those names down. So you maybe you write down 20 names and you go, that's all I can think of. Well, that's fine. And then again, because you've got the book with you, then you go, oh yeah, I didn't write his name down. So then write his name down. Okay, so you're going to keep compiling a list of names. This is going to be an ongoing part of your strategy. Okay, so let's go to step 2. Okay, so step 2 is really simple. What you're going to do is you're going to take your book and you're going to add 2 new names to it each and every day. And where do you go to get these people you're going to add? Well, you could be, maybe you're involved in a volunteer group, or if you're not, maybe start doing some volunteer work. You need to get out into the community. Go to coffee shops, bookstores, anywhere you go, start connecting with people. You want to take and write 2 names down each and every day. And I remember when I was in this one business I was with, one of the leaders, what he would do is he worked full-time as an accountant, and what he would do is he would put 10 beans in his left pocket, and his wife would not let him come through the kitchen door, through the front door, until he had all 10 beans over in his right pocket. And you probably guessed it, each bean represented one person that he had to have in his book. So he actually did this. He did 10. He worked a full 8-hour day as an accountant. And then at the end of the day, he would go out and connect with people. And like just exactly what I just said, like he'd go to bookstores, restaurants, any coffee shops, anywhere he could go to connect with people. And he would not stop until he had the 10 beans in his left pocket over in his right pocket. Now, so I'm not saying you have to do that, but I'm just saying that you make it a discipline that you add 2 new people to your list each and every single day. Okay, let's go to step 3. Okay, so step 3. Step 3 is a simple one. It's about raising your level of awareness. When you go out during the day, you're going to run into people who have a great smile. They are jovial. They're laughing. They provide great service. They seem to really connect well with people. And you go, hey, you know what? This is the kind of person that I'm looking for. Now, when I say raise your awareness and being, recognizing these people, what I'm not saying is that you're going to pounce on them with your opportunity. Okay, so don't do that. What I'm talking about is being aware of these people and connecting with them. Okay. All right, so let's go to step 4. Okay, so step 4 is about not prejudging people. And this is something that I was extremely guilty of. I probably do it from time to time yet. You judge somebody And there's no cliche, you don't want to judge the book by the cover. And that's something that I know I was guilty of. And a lot of people that I brought into my business, I saw had the same problem. So that's something you don't want to do. One of the reoccurring stories that was shared in the first business that I got involved with was all about prejudging people. And it was one fellow who the fellow lived in Hawaii, and his brother, he thought, would never be able to do anything in network marketing. And so he didn't approach him. Okay. He didn't approach him. And then as he got his business going, but he happens to be at a convention this one particular time, and his brother is at this convention, and guess what? His brother is he's just exploding. His business is growing like crazy, and he didn't even know. His brother never told him. It was like for a year he'd never talked about this with, probably because the same thing, right? They're both prejudging each other, going, my brother would never want to do this, and he actually was just exploding his business. Now imagine if the two of them were in the same business together, how much more powerful they would have been. And that's the thing, is if you prejudge somebody, you think, well, that person's got too much. They're wealthy. They don't need a business. Well, guess what? Maybe they're bored. They wouldn't want to do this business because, they're a doctor or they're a lawyer. So why would they want to do my silly network marketing business? Well, guess what? Network marketing is, first of all, not silly. And that's your thinking is stinking. So get rid of the stinking thinking. There's lots of people that are out there. I know in one business I was in, one of the top, number of the top network marketers in that business were doctors, because they could see the efficacy of what the company was selling, and so they believed in it, and that crosses all of the network marketing domains. It doesn't matter what it is you're marketing. There are people that are really successful that will identify with what you're doing. And if you don't present it to them, somebody else might. So don't prejudge people. Okay, so let's go to the next step. Okay, so step 5 is about connecting with your community. So in your community, there are a number of groups. There's church groups, there's baseball groups. You maybe want to join up a baseball team, a soccer league, hockey team. There's all these groups out there that you could join with. You could contribute, do volunteer work, and what you're going to find is that there are people that you're going to start connecting with in these groups. And that's what it's all about. It's about adding those 2 names to your list each and every day. And the easiest way to do that is by joining groups. So write down a list of groups and then take a look at which ones you think would be the best fit for you, and then join them. Okay, so now the next piece is, how do you approach people without being overwhelmed with anxiety? You come up to a stranger and you go, I want to connect with this person, but I don't want to, I'm shy. And I used to have that problem, but I at least I think I did. But what I've done is I've kind of gotten over it. What I'll do is I'll approach people with, when you go through a checkout line, for example, the lady will say, or the guy will say, so how are you doing today? And I'll go, you know what? I've never done better in my entire life. And then you kind of look for a bit of a reaction, right? But even beyond that, just simply approaching people with what's obvious. It's really a warm day, and you go, man, isn't this a great day? Or it's raining cats and dogs, and you go, man, what another rainy day. And you connect with people because what you're doing is you're approaching them on a level that's not going to send up red flags to them. They don't feel like you're trying to accost them. And this is how connections start. If you can just put your agenda aside, okay? So you're always out there looking for people, but you know what? You're not out there looking for people that you can attack with your business. You're not going to try and drive it down their throat. That's not what professionals do. Professionals are out there connecting with people. So start off with something that's non-threatening, like, hey man, what about this weather? Can you believe this? Or, man, this is a perfect day for golfing. Or hey, this is a great golf course. Or, hey, isn't this an amazing beach? Or, hey, wasn't that an amazing conference that we're at? Wasn't that speaker awesome? And you come up with something that's obvious in your current situation. So step 2 is about being interested, not interesting. There was a story that I heard some years back where a lady, an elderly lady, was on a plane, and she it was a commuter flight from one city to another, and so she was on this plane for about an hour, and a fellow sat down beside her, and the fellow started asking this lady a whole bunch of different questions about her family and about her life in general, and just asked her tons and tons of questions and was joking with her, and at the end of the flight, when the lady had got off the flight, what they did was they approached her and said, "So there was a fellow sitting beside you. Can you tell us about him?" "Oh, he was a wonderful man. I really enjoyed talking to him. He was great. Very intelligent person, very interesting to talk to." And they said, "So what was his name?" And she goes, I don't recall him saying his name." And so where does he live? He didn't say. "Oh, okay. So what kind of work does he do?" You know what? He never mentioned his job. And so, but what this guy had done was he put the whole focus on this lady and not about himself. And this lady thought that this guy was a very interesting person, when in truth, it was because he paid attention to her. And you know what? These days, most people don't pay attention to other people. If you give somebody the spotlight instead of trying to put it on you, you're going to find that they connect with you a lot faster. So put the focus on them. Be interested in them. There'll be lots of time for you to share about yourself, but in the beginning, be interested about them. And you know what? It's a lot less stressful when you're talking about, how's your day, and do you have any family here? Because you're not bragging about yourself. You're not feeling like you're going to be judged based on your life and your accomplishments. You're talking about them, and they're going to be happy to tell you about them. You just have to ask. Okay, so step 3 is about being authentic. I recall my first coach in network marketing. He was teaching me how to call leads, and I remember the very first time, just like it was yesterday. I was sitting there listening to him. He dialed this person up, and it was one of my own leads. And he called the person up, and he said, "Hey, John, how's it going?" And John goes, "It's going great, going great." "John, hey, you know what? I got your name that you're interested in working from home, and I just thought I'd give you a quick shout and see if that's something you're interested in still." And then anyway, they had this dialogue. They talked. The guy didn't sign up, but what really struck me was he did it in such a way that instead of getting hung up on like I was getting almost every third phone call, he had this great conversation, and I was actually, if it hadn't been my own lead, I would have swore he knew this guy and that I was being set up, but it was my lead. And the reason I say that is because he spoke to him in such a way that the fellow on the other end of the phone, they just connected. They'd known each other for years. And that's what you want to do. If you start sending off, start setting up red flags, your call is going to end very abruptly. So about being authentic, be yourself. People don't want to talk to you if you're a phony. They want to talk to the real person. So be genuine, be authentic. Okay, so step 4 is smiling and laughter. When I was doing telecom recruiting, one of the things that my coaches told me was to smile. In fact, they even said put a mirror in front of your phone, in front of you where you're sitting doing your calls, and make sure you're looking at yourself and smiling, because people can feel a smile even over the phone. And when you're smiling at somebody, obviously you don't want to make it look like you're being cheesy about this, but if they say something witty, smile. If you say something a little bit goofy, smile. If somebody says something and you can relate to it, and it's kind of, you can go, you know what, the same thing happened to me. What it does is lowers tension. Okay, so you want to create an atmosphere where people feel safe, and laughter will do that. A smile will do that. A smile just simply, a smile is contagious. If you smile, somebody will smile back. Try it sometime. Smiling is contagious. You're going through a checkout, and the lady says, "How are you?" You smile and you go, "I'm great. How are you?" And you'll find that she smiles right back with you. Okay? And that's what it's all about. It's about connecting with people and not making people feel stressed. It's about keeping those red flags where they belong. locked up. Okay, so hopefully this has been helpful for you. If it has, click that little red button down there in the bottom right corner, and then the bell. And like I said before, it'll give you an alert the next time I post a new video. Also, give me a thumbs up if you thought this video was helpful, and certainly share it with somebody you might know that you think it would help. Okay, so you take care, make it a great day, and I'll see you on the next training video.